Morning, dear children. So welcome back to the class again. This is your English class and today is 1st of July. So children, let us begin with the exercises which are given on page number 17, reading 2. Now we'll start with the first question. Now there are some boxes given over there. You have to fill up the boxes below and to complete the summary of the chapter. So we'll begin with the first one. Ping pong was invented, but Daddy was not interested in the game. So this is the answer for the first box. Ping pong was invented, but Daddy was not interested in the game. The second one is, however, once Daddy learnt it, he became obsessed with playing. I'll repeat again. However, once Daddy learnt it, he became obsessed with playing. Next one, the teacher was worried, so she tried to reason with him and even wrote to his parents. Fourth one, however, the parents did not discover it for a while because Daddy would intercept the letters and tear them up. So the fourth answer is, however, the parents did not discover it for a while because Daddy would intercept the letters and tear them up. Then the fifth one, the parents discovered only when the teacher went to speak to them in person. Next one, the parents took Daddy to the doctor who treated crazy people. Now the next one, the doctor could help Daddy because he understood that Daddy just needed to be given some time to work off his obsession with ping pong. I'll repeat the answer again. The doctor could help Daddy because he understood that Daddy just needed to be given some time to work off his obsession with ping pong. And the last one, Daddy realized the agony his parents had gone through when his daughter became interested in ping pong. So I'll repeat the answer again. Daddy realized the agony his parents had gone through when his own daughter became interested in ping pong. Now we'll do the exercises which are given on page number 18. So the first question given over there is, do you think Grandpa and Grandma were justified in worrying for Daddy? Why or why not? So we'll start with the answer. So the answer is, I do think Grandpa and Grandma were justified in worrying for Daddy because his obsession with ping pong had gone beyond what was reasonable and healthy. He had lost interest in school and even stopped attending classes. What may have been even more worrying for them was to find out that he had been lying to them, had torn up the teacher's letters and deliberately deceived them, and was thinking about giving up school altogether. As his parents must have been worrying about his long-term future, they were justified in being disturbed by his behavior. So I'll repeat the answer again for you all. I do think Grandpa and Grandma were justified in worrying for Daddy because his obsession with ping pong had gone beyond what was reasonable and healthy. He had lost interest in school and even stopped attending classes. What may have been even more worrying for them was to find out that he had been lying to them, had torn up the teacher's letters and deliberately deceived them, and was thinking about giving up school altogether. As his parents must have been worrying about his long term future, they were justified in being disturbed by his behavior. Now, the next question is, which part of the story did you enjoy the most? Give reasons to support your answer. So, here I am going to give you the answer. You can write whichever part is favorite of yours in your own words. Okay, so answer is, my favorite part of the story is Daddy's meeting with the doctor. The conversation between them is humorous, and I like the way the doctor understood what was going on with Daddy and came up with the perfect solution. It gave Daddy time to come to his own realizations and go back to school willingly, and also gave his parents the outcome that they wanted. So I'll repeat the answer. My favorite part of the story is Daddy's meeting with the doctor. The conversation between them is humorous, and I like the way the doctor understood what was going on with Daddy and came up with the perfect solution. It gave Daddy time to come to his own realizations and go back to school willingly, and also gave his parents the outcome they wanted. Now, the next question is, encourage students to think creatively and formulate their own answers. Okay, though worded humorously, the story conveys a very important and serious message. What is it? Do you like the way it is conveyed, or would you like it better if it was written in a sombre tone? So, I think the story has two messages, both equally important. One is that while growing up, we sometimes develop obsessions and go off track, and if handled with maturity and kindness by the adults around us, it does not need to end in a disaster. The ending of the story, when Daddy gets worried about his daughter's interest in ping pong, shows us that Daddy perhaps finally realized the worries that he put his own parents through. I like this message too, as it reminds us to look at an issue from the perspective of all the people involved. So let us begin with the exercises based on vocabulary. The first one is, Mohit, are you going to the party? Can I come along with you? I too want to go to the party. Sohail says, sure, you can wear your favorite pair of pants. The place is just off the road about 100 yards away. Mohit then says, I think it is going to rain. I'll wear woolen socks because my toes are cold. I'll also wear my high boots today. Then Sohail says, we'll wait for Rahul. He'll be here in a few minutes. So I'll repeat the answer again. Mohit says, are you going to the party? Can I come along with you? I too want to go to the party. Sohail says, sure, you can wear your favorite pair of pants. The place is just off the road about 100 yards away. Then Mohit says, I think it is going to rain. I will wear woolen socks because my toes are cold. I'll also wear my high boots today. Then Sohail says, we'll wait for Rahul. He'll be here in a few minutes. Now, let us begin with the next set of questions. Now, we'll do the exercises based on homonyms. Homonyms are words that have the same spelling and same pronunciation but different meanings. For example, Mukta was lying to me, telling a lie. My books are lying on the table. Now, here lying means placed. And in the first sentence, Mukta was lying to me, and the second sentence has my books are lying on the table. So both the spellings lying is lying. Now in the first sentence, lying means telling a lie, and in the second sentence, lying means placed. Okay, so based on that, we have to make sentences to bring out the different meanings of the following words. Now the first word which has been given here is the first word which is given here is bow, BOW. So let us begin. Now we'll make two sentences to bring out the different meanings of the following word bow. Now we'll begin with the first sentence. The gift box was decorated beautiful bow made of ribbon. And the second sentence is the archer lifted his bow and arrow and aimed at the target. So here we have used the word bow but with a different meaning. In the both sentences the meaning is different. Now the next word which has been given over here is close, CLOSC. Now the first sentence we are going to frame and write is her house is close to the library. The second sentence is the police has given orders to close all the shops at night. So you can understand the meaning of the word given close in both the sentences. In the first sentence, it is the word close means near to the library, and in the second sentence, the police has given orders to shut all the shops at night at 8 p.m. That means close means shut over here, shut down. Okay. Now the next word which is given is bit, BIT, bit. I did not understand the last bit of your presentation. That means I did not understand the last part of your presentation. And in the second sentence which we are going to write is while he was walking through the forest, a strange so here the meaning of the word bit, BIT, bit is different in both the sentences. Now the next sentence which we are going to make with the word is present, PRESCNT. First one, I am making a painting for my mother that I will present to her on her birthday. So here the meaning of present is to gift. Okay children, now we'll go with the next one. The next one we'll write is both the principal and the vice principal were present at the function. So there was a function and both the principal and the vice principal were present in the function. They were present over there. Okay. Now the next one. PEN, pen. I gifted my teacher a beautiful fountain pen. And in the second sentence, once all the sheep had gone inside the pen, the shepherd closed the door of the pen. Okay, I'll repeat the sentence again. Once all the sheep had gone inside, the shepherd closed the door of the pen. So where does a sheep leave? The sheep sleep. The sheep lives in a pen. Okay, so the house of the sheep is called pen. So once the sheep entered the pen, he closed the door of the pen. Who closed? The shepherd. So here the meaning of pen in both the sentences are different. Now the last one which we have to do is watch, WATCH, watch. I like to watch the squirrels play. That means I like to see the squirrels play. And in the next sentence which we are going to frame is I need to buy new batteries for my watch. So I have a watch and the batteries have drained out. So I need to buy new batteries for my watch. Okay. So here watch is a thing that we wear on a wrist. Okay. So the meaning of the word watch in both the sentences are different. Okay children, so now there's a poem given on page number 19. You have to read the poem and based on the poem we need to complete the exercises which has been given based on the grammar part. Now the answers may vary, and the sample answers have been given to you. I'll be dictating you the sample answers. You can write the answers on your own words too. So I'll recite the poem for you. I like little kitty, her coat is so warm, and if I don't hurt her, she will do me no harm. And I'll not pull her tail nor drive her away, but kitty and I very gently will play. She shall sit by my side, and I'll give her some food, and she'll love me because I am gentle and good. Okay, now the next stanza which is given over there is, I'll pat little kitty and then she will purr, and thus show her thanks for my kindness to her. I'll not pinch her ears nor tread on her paw, lest I should provoke her to use her sharp claw. I never will vex her nor make her displeased, for kitty can't bear to be worried or teased. So this is the poem given on page number 19. Now when you turn your page to page number 20, you will see that certain questions have been given based on the grammar, and you have to write the answer looking into the poem. Okay, so let us begin with the questions which has been given over there. Okay, the first one is given, identify a few adjectives in the poem. What function do they perform? So the answer is a warm, gentle, good, sharp. So these are the words that describe nouns in the poem. So you have to, here the question given is, identify few adjectives in the poem. What function do they perform? So the answer is warm, gentle, good, sharp. So you all are aware adjective means the describing words. Okay, so warm, gentle, good, sharp, these are the adjectives which have been given in the poem. And what function do they perform? These words describe the nouns in the poem. Okay, so this is the function of the adjective which has been given. Now the next one, identify two pronouns in the poem. What nouns do this refer to? Now the answer is her, that is little kitty, I, the poet. Now the next one, identify 5 verbs in the poem. Think of an adverb to describe each of these. So the verbs are like, hurt, sit, pinch and show, and the adverbs that describe them, that can describe them, are quiet, badly, quietly, slyly and proudly. Okay, so this was the answer for the C section, a C question. Then we'll go ahead with the D question. Identify 2 prepositions in the poem. So there are 2 prepositions which has been given in the poem, and that is by and on. Then we have to pick 2 conjunctions in the poem, and what do they connect, that we need to mention. Okay, so if I don't hurt her, she will do me no harm. She shall sit by my side and I'll give her some food. So these are the 2 conjunctions in the poem, and this is how they connect. Then the last one we are going to do, identify 1 adjective that has been modified as an adverb in the poem. Mention the noun and the verb that these words describe. So the answer is, the adverb gently is modified from the adjective gentle, but kitty and I very gently will play. Gently describes the verb play. The adjective gentle describes the poet referred to as I because I am gentle. So this is the answer for the F question. So here we will end the class, children, and I would request all of you to complete the exercises which we have done today in the textbook. So only the answers, question answers which you have to write in your own words, that you are going to write it in the notebook. Other than that, everything you are going to write in the textbook. So you need not write it, copy it again in your textbook, in your notebook. You have to write it in your textbook itself. Okay, so till then children, please take care, be safe at home.